Welcome back to 15 Lessons in 15 Weeks. This is week 9, and I am going to be completing my third lesson in kind of this 3-part lesson that I started talking about when I was 21. So this is a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to reread these lessons in case you haven't been following along, maybe haven't listened to the last 2, or maybe even if you have, but maybe you forgot the last 2 lessons, just so that this final lesson makes sense. So the first lesson that I learned at 21, that was kind of the first part of this 3-part lesson as a whole, it's a lot of lessons, but anyway, was processing and facing your fears leads to freedom. And the next lesson that I learned at 22 was when trials come, hold fast and let them produce fruit within you. And this week's lesson comes from when I turned 23. And to be honest, I'm going to shake it up a little bit. I am not going to give you a phrase. I'm not going to give you an encouraging sentence or, something that could potentially go on a wallpaper or, you could hang on your wall. I'm going to give you one word. Because this one word was my word that I clung to when I was 23 years old. And that word simply is detox. At 23, I had learned a lesson of processing and facing my fears, which led me to freedom, which led me into a journey of unknowns and exciting things, and I was on top of the world. And at 22, I faced a couple trials that put me in a place that I was not expecting to be in, and developed a couple of hurts along that year, developed a couple of frustrating pains, confusing things going on in this brain, in this heart. And at 23, I was stuck. I was physically stuck. I was mentally stuck. I was confused. I didn't know if I was mad at God. I didn't know if I was mad at somebody. I was just stuck. I wasn't myself. And people around me could tell. They knew it. And I had a couple amazing people tell me, and I'm so grateful that they told me, like, something's off, something's wrong. Because the truth is that I needed to detox my feelings. I don't know if you've ever gone through like a detox diet or maybe taken a detox bath. But the thing that a detox does is it clears everything out. We won't go into too many details there, but it doesn't necessarily divide the good and the bad and go, oh, okay, we're going to take it out of the bad and we're going to keep the good. No. It gets it all out so that you can replace now what's empty with good things. Like if you're doing, a detox in your system, you're taking everything out and then replacing it with good nutrients, good things to eat, vitamins and all the things that your body needs to become energized, to become stronger, to become, more powerful in the way that you're created to be. And I think the same sometimes needs to happen with our emotions. I think sometimes we have all of these hurts or confusions or frustrations, and they start to kind of compile in our system, in our mind and our hearts. And then it starts to, think about a garbage disposal that hasn't been turned on, like it starts to stink. And therefore it spills out over into your personality. It spills out over to your character, and it's not your character. It's not your personality, but your personality and character might be contaminated because you've been suppressing things. That's what I was doing. I was suppressing things. My personality and my character were being affected, and I needed to turn on the garbage disposal. I needed to detox my emotions. And I clung to this word. I let God take me through a season of just laying it all out there. When I talked about 21, when I was processing my fears, I had to bring my fears to the Lord, all of them. Every fear that I could think of, I had to go, I'm afraid of this, can you help me? And this was the same with my emotions. I needed to bring my emotions to God to say, I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to handle this. I think I know what to do with this emotion, but I'm still struggling with this. Because if I believe that God created me and I don't know how to handle this sometimes, I'm going to take it to the manufacturer. I'm going to take it to the creator, because the creator knows what to do. And so that's what I did. And I just want to encourage you this week that if you have found yourself in a place where you are like, oh, like I'm, snappy, I'm being overreactive, I feel anxious, I feel this, I feel that, I just want to encourage or challenge you, take an inventory of where your emotions are at, of where your feelings are at. And we don't have to let our emotions or feelings dictate who we are, but we can bring them to the surface and go, this is how I'm feeling. Why am I feeling this way? These are the questions I had to ask myself. I'm feeling this. Why am I feeling this way? And then I had to bring them to the creator. I had to bring them to the one that created me and go, can you help me? Can you help me fix this, please? Because he knows better than I do. There's a verse about that, but one of the verses that is really helpful for me in this season, and was helpful for me in this season, is Colossians 3:2. It says, set your minds on things that are above, not on things on the earth. And there's lots of different scriptures about setting our minds on things that are noble and true and pure and right, and setting our mind, on things above. And this is what I had to do in this season. I had to get a fresh perspective of the trials that I'd been through. I had to get a fresh perspective of the things that I was holding inside of me. I needed God to show me how he was going to teach me, how he was going to make me stronger. And through the detox, I had to allow him to fill me with good things, and with things that it was like, I went on a journey of going, okay, this happened, but I can see now how that trained me, that equipped me, that helped me figure out, a process, a tool that I can now use for my future. And I don't want to just keep rambling on about this, because I really could talk about this for a long, 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 long time. But my encouragement to you is to detox. Just think about the things that are on your mind. Don't try to hold them in. Don't try to carry them yourself. Find a friend who is a good friend that is going to help you detox. I had good people to help me detox that year. And by 24, I was ready to take on a new adventure. And I can't wait to share that with you guys next week. But I needed to detox, because if I didn't, I was going to be holding these things in my heart for a long time, and I didn't need that. I didn't need to carry those things with me, because I was going into a new season that I needed to be free of these things. And so if you feel like you're in a place where you need to detox, find a friend, let your emotions out, maybe that's a very vulnerable place. So really consider who you're talking about these emotions with, and ultimately allow yourself to be filled with good things, with encouraging things, with things that are going to make you stronger. And so thanks for listening to this 3-part challenge. I hope it really helps you. But I've got 5 weeks left. Week 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 6 weeks left. Count. I gotta count. But yeah, 6 weeks left until this challenge is finished, and I'm excited to keep going. So join me next week for week 10, where I talk about being 24, and this is kind of where this 24 year kind of led me to where I'm now. So I'm excited to unhash that. But thanks for listening this week. Join me next week. I will see you then. Bye.